What does it take to be the #1 trainer in the world in Pokemon Go? With millions of people around the world, how do you get to the top? Well, today we're going to be going through that, breaking down the top players in different categories in Pokemon Go. And by the end of the video, we're going to decide one trainer who is the best player in the world. You know we're getting serious today because I put on a nice shirt. Let's get into it. Let's start off in our first category in this video, which is going to be arguably the most important stat in Pokemon Go, XP. Now, for a while, everybody knew one YouTuber as the #1 XP trainer in the world, Brandon Tan. But on December 28th in 2023, Brandon Tan announced his retirement from XP grinding after he hit 4 billion XP. I know, absolutely insane. Brandon Tan held the record for the most XP in Pokemon Go for a long time, but has since been dropped and beaten by none other than 728 Ben, a trainer from Japan who has now recently hit 6.6 billion XP in Pokemon Go and is the #1 trainer in the world in terms of XP. This trainer's also walked over 100,000 kilometers playing Pokemon Go, caught over 4 million Pokemon, and is overall just a beast in the XP game and easily takes the #1 spot in the world as the trainer with the most amount of XP. But XP is not everything. And in my opinion, this is arguably the most impressive category to be #1 in, and that's going to be most Pokemon caught in the world in Pokemon Go. This achievement has been held for a very long time, I believe, by one trainer known as Cairo Rina, which we have mentioned here on the channel before. Cairo Rina, another trainer from Japan who has been grinding out catches since probably the day Pokemon Go came out. On January 1st, he posted that he hit 4,170,000 catches, which is absolutely insane amounts of catches. And a little bit later, you can see this screenshot of a Rowlet with their Stardust count at 600 million Stardust. That's what happens when you catch a lot of Pokemon. You get a lot of Stardust. Cairo Rina, if he keeps up with it, is probably going to hold this record for a long time and is the #1 trainer in the world in terms of catch amount. But you know, catching Pokemon, gaining XP, although it's a very tough grind, it's a very easy feat. So let's talk about some skill expression and who is the #1 excellent thrower in the world in Pokemon Go. Starting off with honorable mentions here, we have Sean Murray, who I believe has since then been retired, but we can see some footage on screen here of some very skillful excellent throws and very consistent excellent throws. But this is nowhere near our #1 spot, in my opinion, although it is a subjective category, because the most skillful excellent throws is going to go to Tasty Bree, a trainer from Singapore here, which we can see being very consistent with the excellent throws in the AR mode. This is just an amazing way to grind. You get so much XP. Obviously, this is not really possible anymore because they've changed it. This is before they had the Pokeball update where you'd always get the exact same Pokeball appearing. They have to go in and change it, which is really annoying. As you can see, very consistent with the excellent throws. And overall, those three trainers are probably the top. I would give it to Tasty Bree here. But again, this is a subjective category and will change on how much the player is playing. Are they very consistent with it? Are they having a bad day? Now, catching XP, excellent throws, it's not the only thing that's important in Pokemon Go because there's so many different aspects to the game. And that brings us into our second category, which is going to be the collection category. Who has the best collections in Pokemon Go and has made the most strides in catching them all? And let's start off with Shiny Pokemon Collection. And I have 4 names here to mention. First of all, we have Dali, a trainer from London, UK, who is currently only missing 18 shinies in Pokemon Go. As you can see here, missing the Flabébés, which just recently came out, Croc and the Crocodile, and the Rotom from the Sinnoh, which are super rare, as well as a couple of the super rare costume Pokemon and the shiny Unknown V from Seville Safari Zone. Currently, their shiny dex is at 1,075 as of April 4th, which is like 6 days after I'm recording this video. And total amount of shinies in the game is 1,093. We also have Pugs here, a trainer from South Florida, who's mentioned they are only missing the Sleeping Snorlax, a few of the shiny Flabébés, and a couple costumes and a couple different forms of Pokemon. But as you can see on screen here, they have a great collection, very close to completing the shiny dex, and a very impressive collection. Next up, Omar from Carlsbad has a very impressive shiny collection as well. Again, only missing the Eevee Safari and the Sleeping Cap Snorlax, as well as a couple of the shiny Flabébés. But as you can see on screen, very impressive collection. Again, these are actually living shiny dexes, so they actually have every single shiny evolved, not just in the Pokedex, but also actually in their storage, which is very impressive. And then finally, a trainer everybody knows very well, JT Valor, YouTuber, who again has a living or almost living shiny dex, missing the shiny Rotom, which just came out, the shiny Sandile line, but has been holding on to pretty much every single shiny and has almost every single Pokemon in their collection. Honestly, one of the most impressive creator collections I have seen. He actually has a full video breaking down his collection. If you want to check that, I will link that below if you want to go in and get some more proof, but it's super impressive. Overall, this is again a very subjective category because shinies are always being released. Different people are getting new shinies. You know, your shiny dex might one day be perfect, but then the next day a new shiny gets released and you can't get that shiny. So overall, I'm going to give it to those 4 people. Congratulations on your very impressive collections, but shinies is not the only thing we could talk about, because 100% IVs are also another thing we can talk about. Now, unfortunately, 100% IVs and this category is going to be a little skewed because there are different ways to, get hundos that are not very respected in the game, but we can still go ahead and take a look at some of our contenders here, starting off with U079 Pokego, who has completed a 100% IV living dex. As you can see here, these are all 100% IVs of the Kanto region and other regions. As you can see here, they're not all maxed out to level 50, but it's still very impressive. As you can see, then we're going to go through all these Pokemon. Again, a living dex is in a dex where they have every single evolved form. So they have the Hundo Nidoqueen, Nidoking, all that stuff, the Clefairy, the Clefable, etc., etc. As you can see here, super impressive. Here on their Twitter, it shows they have 730 out of 755 100% IVs in their living dex, which is super impressive. We also have Wan Sally here, who again has a 100% IV living dex here. They are a trainer from Japan. As you can see here, scrolling through all these hundos. All these hundos as well are actually best buddied and maxed out to level 50. Now, this is only generation 3 that we can see here. And then finally, we'll mention TRDF53, a trainer from New York who has a very impressive 100% IV collection as well, sitting at a 103 out of 845 perfect Pokédex, so missing, about 30 there not long ago in March. So obviously not perfect, but still very up there. Again, congrats to those trainers, and arguably, I think that is one of the hardest categories to complete, is a perfect IV Pokédex of every single Pokemon. So, round of applause. Those are the top trainers in the world in terms of hundos. But there's other complicated things to do in Pokemon Go, and that moves us on to best buddy collections. Now, we've made a video before, but Schaefer Quest 777 is the #1 trainer in the world with the most amount of best buddies. As you can see here from her post, meet my 1,000 best buddy Pokemon. It's going to be a Goldengo, a Hundo Goldengo. As you can see here, best buddy badge at 1,000. That is absolutely insane amount of best buddied. Now, I talked to Schaefer. She's not 100% sure if she has the most in the world, because I think a problem with this video is that a lot of people have insane collections, but they don't post them online. So there's no way to really tell. But from what I can see online right now, Schaefer has the most amount of best buddies in the world at 1,000 best buddies, even I think more than that now, which is absolutely insane. So congrats to her. And again, she is the #1 trainer in the world in that category. Finally, honorable mention for the collection aspect of it is going to go to Matt Flat, aka Chip in the Cookie, who has a Demon 666 collection. As you can see here, the amount of Pokemon that he has with the 666 IVs. You know what? If there's one trainer in the world with the most amount of Devil Pokemon, goes out to you, Matt. Hey guys, quickly before we continue this video, I have something very exciting to announce. The Pokédaxi group trip is a go and tickets are on sale now. Yes, we're gonna be in Mexico City for a 6-day trip from September 28th to October 3rd. You can buy tickets now on my Trovature profile page, and you can also see the full itinerary and what to expect. We're gonna be visiting different ruins, museums, and of course, playing Pokemon Go, raid hours, spotlight hours, and trying to catch that final Hawlucha, which is the last Pokemon I need for my Pokedex. Go check out the full page. I will link it below, and I'm also gonna be doing a Q&A on my Instagram if you have more questions about the trip, but spots are first come, first serve. Anyway, back to the video. Now, obviously, collecting is a huge part of Pokemon Go, but there is a huge other aspect that is very overlooked by trainers, which is PvP, the competitive side of Pokemon Go. So let's talk about some of the top PvP players in the world in Pokemon Go. Starting off with the Go Battle League section, which is the online multiplayer battle menu where you can go ahead and battle other trainers. Who are the top trainers? Well, again, it's going to be a very subjective category because at different points in time, different trainers will be up there. But a name that kept going around was Jason2890 Pogo, who is consistently a top contender in the Go Battle League section. As you can see here, the first time he hit #1 was in April of 2021. As you can see here, #1 ranked on the Go Battle League board ranking thing. And he also used Shadow Sableye. Let's go! Shadow Sableye broken. Here is a picture of him being in 3rd place in the world in terms of battles. This was on January 1st, so, 3 months ago. In December, an image of him being in the 45th position in the world, which is still very, very impressive. In October of last year, he was number 4 in the world at 3,434 elo. So overall, Jason is a very consistent battler in the Go Battle League and is arguably one of the best. This name was also given to me by Home Slice Henry, that boy J1234, who has consistently been a top battler. As you can see here, number 1 in the world here, November 2nd, 2021. So again, very early, the first time to number 1. This was literally 3 days ago, that boy Jay at number 1 ranking in the world. Overall, these battlers are super skilled and able to consistently reach the top of the leaderboards, which is very, very impressive. And they're arguably the best in the world. But again, it's really hard to say because battlers go up and down and the meta's always changing and people are retiring, rejoining, etc. Also got to give a shout out to Blame Dashed, I think that's how you say the name, who actually has the world record for the most amount of battles won in a row at 220. As you can see here, longest streak, 220 battles won in a row, which is absolutely insane amount. So congratulations on having that record in Go Battle League. So it's really hard to say who's the best Go Battle Leaguer, but there is one thing that we can say for sure, which is who is the best Play Pokemon player. If you don't know Play Pokemon, those are the official tournaments in Pokemon Go where people can go out to different cities and compete to try to win trophies, medals, all that stuff to become the number 1 in their region, in their nation, or in the world. And well, we have some top tier battlers in there, which are not only good in Go Battle League, but also very good in this Bring 6, Pick 3 format. Yes, this format works a little different than Go Battle League, where you bring 6 Pokemon and you have to choose 3 each battle, allowing a lot more potential play in your mind on what you're gonna bring, different mind games, different team building, and a lot more skill expression. Let's talk about the top players. First of all, we need to mention LND's Rargef. I hope I'm not brutally destroying these names, which achieved the first ever regional sweep at Curitiba, did not lose a single game going all the way to the finals and taking the dub. I believe he went 19-0 is what I was told, which is absolutely impressive because there is a lot of competition in these tournaments and not losing a single battle and taking the whole thing down is super impressive. We also need to mention Caleb Peng and Rubik's Master, who are 2 top tier Play Pokemon battlers who apparently have came 2nd on 3 different tournaments. Now, although 2nd is not 1st place, being that consistent and always being near the top definitely shows that you have what it takes to take it all down, so congrats to those trainers. Also, of course, we need to mention Dune Bug, which is a consistently top tier battler, and you will see him always in the top standings in these Play Pokemon tournaments and national tournaments, as he is actually a 3-time regional champ. Yes, he's won 3 regional tournaments, which to have that consistently definitely shows that you have what it takes to be the number 1. Also need to mention fellow content creator Rise to Occasion, which is not only a great content creator and shows his skill expression in his videos, but also has done very consistently well in plenty of tournaments. And there's plenty of other names like Inadequence, Nighttime Clasher, and trainers who have done exceptionally well at tournaments. There's just so many great battles out there. It's kind of hard to decide who is the best, but overall, arguably, the way you decide the best is who's the champion. And of course, that goes to It's Axon. It's Axon is actually the 2023 World Champion, also the 2022 NAIC World Champion, and the Portland World Champion. Yes, they've won a regional, a national, and the championship, the world champs. Overall, arguably one of the best PvPers in the world. But again, the meta changes, different things changes, different players quit. This is always changing, so it's really hard to decide who's the best, and everyone in this category is absolutely amazing. Keep killing it and keep growing that PvP community. And finally, that brings us to our last category before deciding who is the best in the world, which is going to be, I call it the MISC category. First of all, let's talk about raiding. Raiding in Pokemon Go, obviously a very tough thing to do, but there are some people who have done some pretty impressive things with very short man raids, like doing solos, doing duos of super hard raid bosses. We obviously have to honorably mention C. Millen, which is a Pokemon Go TikToker who has done some very, very impressive duos and solos and low man raids of different raid bosses. You can also mention Dragon Nike 69, a trainer from Sweden who has done some very, very impressive different solos and duos. As you can see here, they actually soloed a Kartana with 48 seconds left, not using Megas, not using Shadows, just Reshurams. Very impressive. But the name that kept coming up as arguably the #1 I guess raider in the world, or short man raider, or most impressive, or person you want to be raiding with, we could say that, is going to go to Ivan Espinoza. I think that's how you say it. I hope that's how I say it. Ivan has done some very impressive raid feats. He's mentioned that he has the lowest or fastest time for taking down every single raid bosses, I believe, except Kartana, because he still has to do that one in the world. You can go ahead and check out his Twitch live if you want to see him do some of these insane challenges. Congrats to Ivan. Very, very impressive. Arguably one of the best trainers in the world in terms of, you know, raid skill, I guess we could say. However, there's also some other bad guys out there. Team Go Rocket, who has taken down the most amount of Team Go Rocket, or is Team Rocket's #1 hater in the world. And that's going to go to Ruin 1835. As you can see here by its medal, 163,000 grunts defeated in Pokemon Go. Absolutely insane feats. I love taking down Team Rockets, but I don't know if I love it this much. As you can see here, this trainer actually has 50 100% IV Shadow Pokemon. Absolutely impressive. As you can see here, some crazy ones. Look at that Gengar. That's a super nice one to have. Also more here, the Shadow Rampardos Hundo. 3 Shadow Tyranitar Hundos. That's absolutely insane. What a collection. Oh, bro, the Shadow Sableye Hundo. I'm so jealous. Pretty much unarguably, this is the #1 Team Go Rocket hater in the world, and easily takes the #1 spot as the best Team Go Rocket hunter in the world. And finally, our last category here before we get into the overall is going to go to the #1 Pikachu fan in the world. We obviously have to give a huge shout out to Yaroon, which is a fellow YouTuber we've actually had here on the channel for a collab, who loves Pikachu, has an insane Hundo Pikachu collection. But in terms of sheer numbers, it's gonna have to go to Kill Kuji, which has caught a total of 182,000 Pikachus. Has, I believe, look at this caught Pikachus. Oh my God, 182,728. That's absolutely insane. Has every single shiny Pikachu, I'm pretty sure. Also, every single Hundo Pikachu costume that you could possibly get, even the Pichus as well. Pikachu lover overall. Yeah, 256 perfect IV Pikachus, most of them traded. 356 shiny Pikachus in their collection. Trades Pikachus daily and just loves Pikachu. So if you love Pikachu, or you think you love Pikachu, just know there's someone out there that loves him more. Congratulations on that collection. Yeah, easily the #1 Pikachu lover in the world. So yeah, there are so many different types of trainers in the world, right? And so many impressive feats that different trainers have collected. But that really asks the question, who is the #1 trainer in the world in Pokemon Go? And well, unfortunately, can't answer that question, because that's the amazing thing about Pokemon Go, is that it's a game of different categories and different play styles. You could be #1 in the world in terms of catches, but you could be garbage at PvP. So are you really #1 in the world? At the end of the day, I always say that the #1 trainer in the world is the one who's having the most fun, because that's all that matters. And as long as you're having fun in Pokemon Go, you're winning at the game, and you don't need insane stats like this. So get out there, explore the world, and keep having fun. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the 1 below, and also comment below what you think is the most impressive feat in this video and who you think is the most impressive trainer in the world, and follow for more tips. Peace.